Thank you for being here. I'm Kim Taemin and I'm gonna talk about my reading project based on my report. As of now, I hope to be a social studies teacher. Therefore, I would like to study at a school of education or a social studies department. I'm still not sure about my future, so I'm trying to acquire knowledge not only about politics, but also about law, international politics, diplomacy, and management. As I said before, rather than focusing on specific areas and looking for information, I'm looking for a lot of newspapers, current affair news, books, and videos to gain various knowledge regardless of what it is. But one day, while watching a lecture video on YouTube, I realized that I was looking at a world from a narrow perspective. Come to think of it, only one newspaper was reading the Hangul newspaper, and almost all the books I read were written by Yu Shimin. I was thinking in my own way, I'm accepting all opinions regardless of political party, gender, age, because I'm young. But the fact that I have a stereotype was a little shocking. Then I saw a copy of 10 Reasons We Are Wrong About the World in a video that briefly introduces this book, Factfulness, and I thought it will be a book that can wake up my thoughts, so I read it right away. Factfulness has a total of 11 chapters except for intro and outro, and I read every chapter except outro. The book says that the contradiction of the system, but that we look at the world more negatively than necessarily. Anyway, the world is changing in a positive way, and the distorted reality of overly dramatic worldviews only causes unnecessary stress. Reading the Size Instinct chapter, I was most impressed by the over-evaluation. The size instinct makes our limited attention and resources devote to individual cases or visible victims, the specific in front of our eyes, and the results are the same even if we show solid data. I think it's similar to a fear instinct in that size instinct either makes the object smaller or bigger than it really is. So, how can we control our size instinct? There are many tips introduced in the book, but I would like to introduce one of them. It is comparing numbers. In order to contain size instinct, it is important not to weigh just one number. So, you must be careful not to judge by just one number. Let me give you an example of the Vietnam War. The writer recognizes the Vietnam War as a very big war. But on the other hand, Vietnamese did not. They call the Battle of the United States 대미항전. This difference in perspective can be seen by comparing the size of other war monuments. A monument to commemorate the victory of the war with the US is 1 meter high. And the monument to commemorate the independence of France is 3 meters high. And the monument to commemorate the war hero who fought with China is 100 meters high. Because the war with China lasted for 100 years, French colonial life for 200 years, and the war with the United States lasted only 20 years. I thought I was interpreting the data accurately because I interpreted the chart a lot in school curriculum, but I was very surprised when I read this part because I realized that I really misinterpreting this word. Thanks to Factfulness that I happened to see because of the recommendation video, I think my view of the word has widened. Summarizing the 11 chapters, the author's argument in one sentence seems that every country in the world should develop into an advanced country. The idea is to create a world where humans can live by leveling up. It was more interesting to read because it was contrary to the view of Yuval Harari, who asked, can the world that is developing now be called development? In fact, it was my first time reading such a long English book, and I was able to enjoy it because I felt like I was getting to know more about the society in which I live, even though I was struggling with long sentences, complicated sentence structure, and difficult words I didn't know. Through this reading project, I was able to not only change my perspective on the world, but also realize the importance of writing a short memo. To be honest, I didn't quite understand people who advised me that it was important to make a short note while reading or right after reading a book. However, although I was lazy to write a book report every week, summarizing and writing my thoughts so the contents of the book remained in my mind for a long time and I could read meaningfully. I will continue my reading habits and writing short notes from this project. Thank you for listening.